Who knew that all it took to make a few $1,000,000 was a few well-timed hand gestures and the most relatable face on the planet? No words required. As of 2021, the famous TikToker known as khaby has a net worth of over $2 million. A crazy aspect of that fact is that LeMay was born in this century, the year 2000 to be specific, making the multimillionaire just 21 years of age. All of that wealth was built up over the previous few years when the young man found a mass following on a social media app he decided to mess around with one day. Khaby started on TikTok very similar to many other Generation Z folks who I swear would have loved Vine. Rest in peace. He did minor dance videos, copying trends, and even some video game play-alongs. However, one fool with a glass of water and some zip ties gave Khaby exactly what he needed to shoot off into stardom. LeMay has amassed his large following thanks to his particularly dry, humorous style, mocking overly complicated do-it-yourself tips videos. The first one involves someone using 2 zip ties to hold a third zip tie onto a water glass and then be used as a handle. Khaby then comes in to show how one can just use their hand to pick up the glass of water. Some of his other greatest hits include mocking overly complicated ways to peel a banana or a cucumber. LeMay, of course, just uses his hands or a peeler. What is especially great about Khaby's videos is that their humor and design is simple. There is very little production design or editing that goes into them, meaning that 100% of the humor relies on Khaby himself, with his signature face that makes him seem perpetually fed up with the do-it-yourselfers of TikTok, and his hand movements showing us how obvious the solution is. Often he will finish up with a little head shake or eye roll to cap off the ridiculousness of some of the extremely overthought methods for simple tasks on the internet. Overall, his videos have a very relatable theme, and that is that life is often simpler than we make it out to be. That is probably what drew people in such large numbers to Khaby's page, especially in a time where the world seemed more complex than ever. LeMay even points out that the silence of his videos is extremely intentional, as it allows him to reach and connect with audiences of people all over the world. Not only is LeMay's comedic timing perfect, but he was able to strike gold with his TikTok channel because of his timing in the market. His first video back in March of 2020 came at a time where TikTok was really taking off, and was just surpassing all of Facebook's adjacent properties as the most downloaded app of the time. This is what allowed LeMay to gain over 50,000 followers within a month from the start of his first video. From there, the train was rolling and there was no stopping it. Since then, Khaby has gained 114 million followers on TikTok, making him the most followed man and second most followed TikToker of all time. It also helped that the Chinese-owned app at the time definitely was looking for more African-born creators, as the continent was a market that they were certainly trying to grow in. LeMay is second only to Charli D'Amelio, a California teen who basically called dibs on the dancing trend before anyone else got to it. Since his first video, he has released over 900, some of which branch from his signature style. In newer videos, he will assume random positions like a cameraman or security guard watching the events of popular internet videos unfold, with the same sort of fed-up tone as his previous ones. In fact, as his popularity grew, some of his fans started doing the work for him, tagging Khaby in overly complicated videos because they know he is the man who gets things done. Those 900 some odd videos have generated over 1.8 billion likes at the time of this recording for Khaby, equating to about $1 million in revenue. On top of that, LeMay diversified his platforms and currently has over 50 million followers on Instagram. But just who was Khaby before he became one of the most recognizable faces on the planet? LeMay was born in Senegal, West Africa, but moved with his family to Italy where he currently resides at the age of 1. He loves to play basketball and today even idolizes players like LeBron James. He is bilingual, speaking both Italian and English. He lives in the town of Chivasso, Turin in public housing, and eventually became a factory worker, earning a small wage as a machine operator. I like to imagine back then him sitting in a meeting before hitting the factory floor while some new employee pitched a new way to turn the machine on or off or something of that nature. LeMay would then head to the floor, make his signature face and gesture to his machine with no words and shake his head. It kind of makes you think about what you're doing now in your everyday life that maybe you should start recording. He lived in Chivasso while he had this job, but eventually the inevitable struck as the world experienced the global coronavirus pandemic at the beginning of 2020. Khaby certainly didn't come from money, and he made very little at his factory job. But while some faced very difficult times during the pandemic, Khaby personified the idea of making the best out of a bad situation. He lost his factory job when Italy closed many of its industries at the beginning of the pandemic, and he found himself stuck back at home, where he lived with his parents and his 3 siblings. It was there, stuck in his small bedroom with very few options on the table, that Khaby Lame began experimenting with TikTok. The 21-year-old social media influencer and basically overnight sensation was incredibly smart with his decision-making. Some people who find themselves in fame and fortune in a short amount of time also find themselves falling out of that situation very quickly. One of the first things Khaby Lame did was to hire a social media manager by the name of Riggio Alessandro, who manages over 150 popular social media accounts for influencers and rising stars. This allowed his videos to find the right channels and led to alternate ways of Khaby Lame earning money. Since his rise in fame, he has partnered with several brands such as Netflix, Italian food company Barilla, and Indian fantasy sports platform Dream 11. Lame has declined to say how much profit has been generated from these partnerships, but it is said that TikTok stars can earn millions of dollars from partnerships such as these. Plus, he has several others in the works. Currently, he charges brands $50,000 for a single promotional ad on his TikTok channel, and it is estimated that he makes somewhere around $200,000 a month. You know, the yearly salary of most American families? Yeah, per month. I swear, I'm just going to start recording myself doing mundane tasks like washing the dishes or taking out the trash just to see if there's some untapped audience there. Anyway, despite all of his success, Lame started out very frugal with his money. The first and only thing he bought for some time was a new iPhone 12 so that he could record better quality videos. However, since then, he is starting to accept more of a life of luxury. All of this is fair, considering within 18 months he went from a factory worker to unemployed to a multi-millionaire. He has since started a modest car collection, including a Jeep Compass for $30,000, an Audi RS5 for $75,000, a BMW X5 for just under $60,000, and a Mercedes AMG G63 for $156,000. He also nearly broke the internet when he bought a ring, possibly as an engagement present for his 19-year-old girlfriend Zaira Nucci, for an unknown amount of money. Lame hopes to continue expanding his brand and business strategy. It is a lifelong dream of his to appear in films, especially alongside his idol Will Smith. This is not far off, as more and more social media influencers have been tapped by Hollywood to appear in films for the recognizability to a younger audience. I mean, as far as recognizability and relatability go, Khaby Lame has gained the clout from a new generation by breaking into a market at just the right time. I mean, I don't want to harp on this, but seriously, I have a glass of water on my table and a banana in my cabinet right now. I really feel like I missed out here, but good on the 21-year-old for making it big. Khaby Lame has gained such nicknames as the Gen Z Mr. Bean, and becoming a status symbol like that definitely comes with some perks. Today, social media influencers with over 1 million followers can make up to $250,000 per post from brand deals. Needless to say, Khaby Lame has far surpassed that milestone.